I walked into court as a failure. I walked out with the truth they buried for 7 years. The courtroom felt smaller than I remembered. The walls were dull beige, the lights too bright, and the air carried a heavy smell of dust and old paper. Every step I took echoed louder than it should have. People turned to look at me, some curious, some already judging. The moment I walked in, I heard it. My mother laughed under her breath. It wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It cut deeper than shouting ever could. I looked at her, hoping, stupidly, that she might stop, that she might feel something. But she didn't. She leaned closer to my father like I was a bad joke. My dad didn't even laugh. He shook his head slowly, his lips pressed tight, as if my presence disappointed him all over again. That look told me everything. In his eyes, I was still the same failure who left town 7 years ago. I took my seat and breathed out slowly, trying to steady my hands. That's when I saw her. Sarah sat near the window, sunlight falling across her face. For a moment, the courtroom disappeared. She looked older, calmer, but familiar in a way that hurt. Her hair was tied back simply, like someone used to working outdoors. I remembered hearing she worked on a small farm now, far from town, far from gossip. Our eyes met. My chest tightened. She looked at me for half a second longer than she should have, then quickly looked away, as if she'd touched something forbidden. 7 years ago, I had left this town broken. No one listened to me. No one stood beside me. Not even her. As I sat there, memories pressed in from all sides. The silence after the accusations. The way doors closed. The way love vanished without a fight. I told myself I didn't come back for revenge. But deep down, I knew the truth was waiting to be heard. When the judge called for a short break, people stood up and began whispering. Shoes scraped against the floor. The heavy courtroom doors opened and closed again and again. I stayed where I was, staring at my hands, until I felt a familiar presence beside me. Sarah stood there. Up close, I could see how tired she looked. Not weak, just worn down by time. Her eyes carried something heavy, like she had been holding her breath for years. You shouldn't be here, she said quietly, not meeting my eyes. I didn't come back to hurt anyone, I replied. My voice sounded calmer than I felt, but I couldn't stay away anymore. She swallowed hard and crossed her arms, as if the room had suddenly turned cold. This town hasn't changed, she said. They already decided who you are. Her words pulled me back to that night 7 years ago. The shouting in my parents' house. My mother crying and asking how I could shame them. My father standing still, silent, like he had already chosen a side. And Sarah, standing near the door, pale and quiet, saying nothing. You let them blame me, I said, my voice low. You watched it happen. She finally looked at me then. Her eyes were wet, but there was no anger in them. Only fear. You left, she whispered. You didn't fight. I had nothing left to fight with, I said. You were supposed to be on my side. She opened her mouth to speak, then closed it again. Her hand moved to the thin chain around her neck, fingers pressing against it like it was a shield. I noticed the small tremble in her hands. Something felt wrong. This wasn't guilt. It wasn't regret. It was the look of someone hiding a truth too heavy to carry anymore. When the judge returned, the room grew quiet again. Every cough, every small movement felt too loud. My mother sat straight, confidence on her face. My father kept his eyes forward, like he didn't want to see me at all. The judge asked if there was any final evidence. I stood up. My legs felt heavy, but my voice didn't shake. Yes, I said. I have something to submit. Sarah turned toward me sharply. Her face went pale. Her hand flew to her chest, gripping that small chain like it might break. The clerk took the file from me and passed it forward. Papers shuffled. Screens lit up. DNA results. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the judge leaned closer, reading carefully. My mother let out a small laugh. This is ridiculous, she muttered. Then she stopped. The color drained from her face as the words sank in. The case was never about me owing money. It was about a child. My child. 7 years ago, Sarah had been pregnant. The accusation that ruined me was created to push me out of town fast and quiet. My parents had helped cover it up, afraid of shame, afraid of what people would say. I tried to tell him, Sarah said suddenly, her voice breaking. Tears ran freely now. I begged you to let me. You wouldn't. My mother stared at her, frozen. My father finally looked at me, and broke. I thought I was protecting the family, he whispered. I felt something strange then. Not anger. Not victory. Just clarity. I didn't yell. I didn't smile. I looked at them both and said softly, "You didn't ruin me. You raised me strong enough to come back."